Before I even say anything, my room is a mess and I was gonna clean it up just for like a better setup for this video, but I just chose not to. And yeah, I managed to make $30,000 in less than a year. And for this video, I'm going to tell you guys how I did it so you guys can do the same. And here's the proof right here. We're just going to go into my account right here. So as you guys can see, $30,000 is in my account. $30,662 is in my account. And like I said, I did this less than a year. So yeah, I'm eating McDonald's while making a video. I'm a big back, don't judge me. So the first thing, don't buy a car. I'm in my early 20s and I have a lot of friends who are buying their first cars and buying sport cars and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. But I personally don't own a car because when I think about it, putting a down payment on a car plus the car note and then the insurance and gas, and I live in Los Angeles, so parking fees is like $20. So when you total all of that up, you're spending more money just for owning a car when you could just literally just walk to where you have to go or just use the metro or take the bus like I do. When I have to go somewhere, most of the time when I use the subway, most people, they don't even care, so you kind of just can just walk through. Bus fares is only like $1.75. Whenever I have to go somewhere, I either just take an Uber, because in the long term, using an Uber is cheaper, or I just take the bus, or I just use the metro subway. So if you live in an area where maybe a subway that's accessible to you, just take the bus or just walk, or at the very least just Uber, because having a car is just it's not a good thing to have right now when you're first trying to build up wealth. My second rule for you guys is to pay yourself first and pay yourself aggressively. I have a normal job. I have a regular 9-to-5 job where I make about $2,800 a month. And every time I get paid, every single time I get paid, from the moment that the money comes into my account, I put all of it into savings. 99% of it into my savings account. And I just take $100 for like my own personal stuff. I just take $100 out of that. So that $100 can be for food or Ubers or anything like that. So I have a savings account with Wealthfront where I get a 4% APY, which is a lot more higher than the average APY. Right now, I have $30,000 in that account, which basically means that I'm gonna get paid $100 every month for doing absolutely nothing from the dividends. So that's what I do. So yeah, so a lot of people might think that like stretching $100 is kind of crazy, but if you're spending your $100 on food, you know not to buy anything expensive, right? I'm making a YouTube video. I'll talk to you later. So a lot of people might think that stretching $100 is kind of crazy. I mean, when you're saving aggressively like I do, you kind of just figure out like the food places to buy that's cheap. Whenever I go out with my friends and we go out for lunch, I just buy something from the happy hour menu, or I just buy something really cheap. If I use that money for Uber, I make sure that I'm not going too far, so you know I don't pay that much, but you kind of just figure it out. So you don't have to be as aggressive as me to stretch $100 into your next paycheck. You should still be saving aggressively. So saving aggressively and saving at least $1,000 every time you guys get paid, if you guys can, because I know that there's situations that's different for everybody. So my third tip for you guys is to stack multiple income streams. So like I said, I have a main job where I clock in 9 to 5, but I also do eBay reselling. I'm on call as a part-time PA assistant for film sets. So I know a lot of people in the industry because I just live in Los Angeles and there's always something that's being filmed in the city. So I usually just get calls asking if I can just be like a PA assistant or something like that. Whenever I'm called like on the time I'm supposed to be working, what I use is I just use my paid time off from work, and then I'll just go to like a film set, and then I'll probably get like an extra like $800 from that set. So if I make $800 while working on a film set, I just put that straight into my savings account. So it's still the same thing. I save aggressively. For you guys, I would recommend having multiple income streams. So whether that's eBay reselling or drop shipping or finding vintage clothes and then selling it on Depop, Uber Eats or DoorDash, whatever the case may be, always have multiple income streams. Find something that gives you money every month. You know, don't rely on one income, rely on multiple things. Start a YouTube channel, I don't care what it is, but just have at least 3 income streams, because my income streams bring me at least an extra $1,000 a month. I always know that I have more money coming in and I don't have to rely just on my paychecks from work. Oh yeah, another thing I forgot to do, I also do freelancing. So I edit YouTube videos for other YouTubers or other things like that. I've done a lot of editing for startups and stuff like that. So editing is another thing I do for additional money. This is probably the most important rule, I would recommend leveling up your circle. I'm lucky enough to be surrounded by a lot of successful people. I know a lot of millionaires that I can just call whenever I need like advice on like what stock to buy or what ETF I should be looking into or anything like that. And the reason why is because I just put myself in circles where successful people hang out. So I have a membership to a bunch of social clubs, and me being the youngest member, like I'm just able to hang out with a bunch of like older people who are just way more smarter with finance than me. And like when you hang out with them, they'll just tell you like, oh, you should open up an account with Wealthfront. That's what I do, and that's where I put my money in. A millionaire friend I was talking to a couple months ago, he told me that I should look into Telus, because Telus, I think it's like the APY is like 8%, which is even more than Wealthfront. So like I said, I just hang out with a bunch of people who are more successful than I am. They already have a lot of money saved up, and they're obviously going to help you guys out if you guys are friends with them, so level up your circle. And you don't have to be as like aggressive as I am, like where I just decided just to have a membership to a social club. It's very simple, just finding people, just go on LinkedIn and or just reach out to people, just connect to anybody that that might be successful. Yeah, so like I said though, like the people that I hang around with, they just share their knowledge around. They tell you what stocks that they're looking into. Realistically too, it's like I truly do believe that you are the people that you hang out with. So if you're hanging out with 5 successful people, or 5 people who are more successful than you, then naturally you're just going to want to be the 6th successful person, because you don't want to be seen as like the poor guy in the group or anything like that. So naturally it makes you level up when you're surrounded by people who are more successful than you. Going back to what I said, don't buy a car, pay yourself first and pay yourself aggressively, stack multiple income streams, and level up your circle. So those are the things that I did that managed to make me $30,000 in less than a year. And if you guys apply the same things, you guys can probably make the same, if not more. Another thing I forgot to say, I'm not gonna lie, another thing that benefits me is the fact that I still live at home. Before you guys jump me in the comments, so me and my parents kind of made a deal saying that if I go back to school, because for a long time I wasn't going to school, I was just working and stacking my money, but my parents were like, if you go to school, then you can live rent free. If you use that money to not buy anything stupid, then they'll let me live rent free. So that's the deal I made with my parents. So all the money that I have right now, and all the money that I'm still making, all of it pretty much is going to be going to real estate at some point into the future, where I'm just going to be buying real estate and then having tenants pay off the mortgage, and then I just build equity in that, and then I just take equity out the house, and I just keep repeating the process. So that's basically my plan. So like I said, I live rent free at home, and honestly I think that as embarrassing as it can be, it's an overlooked idea that most people just choose not to do. Me being able to stay at home, I managed to save thousands and thousands of dollars that didn't go to rent, and I'm going to be using that money to buy real estate. So that's basically what I'm going to do. Like I'm probably going to buy like a duplex and then just live in one of them and then just rent it out to tenants, and then they can just pay off the mortgage. So that's basically my plan. I feel like when you're young, there's like a very strong emphasis on leaving home like as soon as you turn 18, and a lot of my friends did that, and I can see that. I do think that it helps with maturity, but at the same time, what I'm really interested is in wealth building. So like I said, that's what I do. So for you guys who are younger, or at least like the same age as I am in my like early 20s, I would just tell my parents, it's like, let me live home rent free. I promise I'm not going to buy anything stupid. I'll go to school. I'll do whatever you want me to do. And you helping me do this, you're not only helping me save money, you're also helping me buy my first house. Most parents are not going to say no to that. And obviously, your parents are more likely going to help you. So, and that's not to say that like even though I don't pay rent, like I still like there are still bills that like I help pay, not because like my parents asked me, but just because I want to. Sometimes I'll take my parents out to like a really nice restaurant, or my family to a really nice restaurant. We actually had vacation recently, and I just paid for all of it. I paid for the food, I paid for the hotel, and just because I wanted to. So it's like, you don't want to just like live off of your parents, but if your parents do let you live rent free, at least help out with something. You know what I mean? Those are my rules on how I managed to make $30,000 in a year, and hopefully you guys apply these same ideas to where you can make the same, if not more. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.